Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and we talk about books here like we do every day. It's been a while since I've done a sit-down talk. It's been about 4 months. I looked it up last night since I have done anything on this YouTube channel, so you're probably new here. Welcome. I did a video with like a little bit of a life update, but I'm a pregnant woman talking about books right now. So if I breathe heavy or I look a little chunky, a little water retentive, a little sick, that would be why. Alright, got the disclaimer out of the way. You guys did not come here to get a life update. You came here to hear about Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. So like I said, for those of you who are new here, I just started my master's degree in English. When I first started like this series of Let's Talk About Classic books, I kind of did it under the disguise of I am a noob. I have no qualifications to be talking about classics, and I definitely still feel that way, but I will give a disclaimer. I did have a lecture based on this book, so there might be a little bit of my opinion and there might be a little bit of an opinion of others. Hopefully that actually makes the video a little bit better, probably a little bit more put together, but let's talk about this. So Mrs. Dalloway is I think a 100-page book. It doesn't look 100 pages because it's the Norton classic, but it's a 100-page book written by Virginia Woolf. It is set in post-World War I. Virginia Woolf, if you didn't know, if you don't like, so here's the thing with Virginia Woolf is that I have never read Virginia Woolf, but I'm well acquainted with her name. And I think that's just because she is like a darling of the literature community. It'd probably be fairly hard to get any sort of degree in studying English and not read Virginia Woolf. And I feel like that is with, she's rightfully, she's rightfully English's darling. This book was actually, I want to say actually, but this book was good. This was a good one. I would recommend this for more intermediate readers, and I will get to why in just a second. But just so you know what it's about, Mrs. Dalloway is about Mrs. Dalloway. She is a high-class wife of a politician, and she is planning a party, and this just follows her day through London. You would think that would be very cut and dry, very boring, but Virginia Woolf doesn't do it that way. You get Mrs. Dalloway planning her party in one day in London, but you also get Peter and Sally and Richard and Septimus's wife, who I'm forgetting the name of, and all the perspectives as they go along their day in London. Virginia Woolf is very lyrical and poetic. It reads almost like an absolute fever dream, which I really loved. You're getting like these inner monologues to each of these characters. You're getting like a human perspective, and it's just absolutely intriguing and lovely, and I would highly recommend anyone read this. I did make notes. Look at me being a professional. So let me pull those up. So yeah, we get Mrs. Dalloway. We also get Septimus. I mentioned him earlier. Septimus is a war veteran. He is suffering from shell shock, and you kind of get this parallel, close to being a parallel, more like a comparison between Septimus and Mrs. Dalloway. So like I said, Mrs. Dalloway is like a high-class wife. The effects of the war on her were fairly minimal. It'd probably be like the effects of society had, so rations and like loved ones dying and fear for loved ones, while Septimus himself was a soldier and has returned with shell shock, and he's experiencing depression, PTSD, which is shell shock by the way, PTSD. His wife is concerned about him. He just can't look at life the same way. He lost friends over there. And like I said, we're getting a lot of inner monologues. We're getting a lot of different perspectives. We have a lot of people's perspectives on Clarissa. We have perspectives on Septimus. And I think for myself, there's a lot of ways you can read this book, and I think that's what makes it so amazing, what makes Virginia Woolf's writing so amazing. There are tons of ways to read this book, and I'll get to a couple more of those in a second. But for myself personally, I think I really felt a connection to the fact that Woolf is like bringing in this like a human perspective. All these people, it's just a normal day in London. Septimus is just sitting at a park looking at trees. Clarissa is just sewing a dress. And yet we're getting like this inner monologue of like Septimus talking about doom and you know, the gates of I want to say hell, but Hades hell, like a mythological hell. All of this, all while he's just sitting at a park looking at, you know, trees and stuff. And his wife's concerned, but anyone who would pass by would not think that he was struggling through all of these things. And we have Clarissa, who there's a scene where she's just sewing a dress, but she's actually contemplating all of her life choices and all of her life regrets. And if she should have married the man that she did, and maybe she should have married somebody else and her life would be different and she would have like these things, maybe not these things, like all of this like inner monologue going on in their head while they're doing something so mundane and so normal, and people are looking at them like they're completely normal people. And it's just really very intriguing. I think that's like one of the aspects that really stood out to me. There's also like themes of time in here. You hear the Big Ben throughout this book. You get a lot of discussions on youth and aging and life and how time flies by. You get a lot of imagery of life. You know, fast cars and ambulance, like, you know, fast, like London moving at a pace that's quick. And everyone else moving at a pace that's slow, and like all of that. You have like this impending, almost like, because as a reader, like, you know that there's going to be World War II, so like you also have like this impending sense of time, of like doom, of this is going to reoccur, and like we're seeing a lot of the repercussions from it. So like, I really liked those aspects. And see, remember, I wrote notes. Don't play. So as far as this being like an intermediate read, it does read very much like a fever dream. You're really jumping from character to character. You're going from outside of their mind to things that are actually happening, to inside their mind, to memories, to recollections, to just like thoughts that they are having. There's no chapters, there's no warnings, there's very little dialogue. So you have to pay attention. If you do not pay attention, you will find yourself on another page having no clue what POV that you are in or what you are talking about. Virginia Woolf, I guess this was her craft, was being able to just like bring tons of similes, metaphors, and symbolism and all these things into just a very small, condensed area of like a character's perspective. At least in this book, it seems like. So you have to be paying attention. You have to be kind of like getting the symbolism. You have to be paying, like I said, you just have to be paying attention to this. So this isn't like just a fun, whimsical, classical read that you can say you read and tell your friends that you read and like feel really smart. This is one that you'd actually have to like sit down and really think through. I think this is very much worth it though. It's only 100 pages. It's, if you want to sit down and contemplate the human experience, the human perspective, if you want some beautiful lyrical writing, something to fall into, something to feel. I think that was one of the aspects of this book as well, was that it was very, like, you felt it. It settled in your soul and in your heart, and like you felt it. So if you want something like that, read it. Please do. Like, I don't want to tell anyone not to read this book. I would say you need to read this book. Like I said, there's a reason why Virginia Woolf is the darling of the English community. But that being said, I would probably rate this, I'm looking at my notes again. I would rate this like a 5 out of 5. It was a beautiful book. I cannot wait to put it back on my shelf. I have a battery light blinking at me. I'm rusty, guys. I'm so rusty. I need to go charge my battery on my camera, but that's it. So like, you guys got like a 10-minute AO about Mrs. Dalloway. Hopefully that helps you if you are studying this in school. Probably not. Put your own opinions on this book if you've read it down below. Tell me if you would think about reading this now that you've heard what I have to say about it, or if you want to go, or if you want to discuss anything that's in this book or want to know anything more or further. Please comment down below. I will be happy to discuss this with you. Like I said, this was a good one. I'm not mad that I had to read that. There are definitely some books that I'm mad I have to read, and that will be coming in a later video in a couple of weeks. I will be ranting a lot, so look forward to that. I will see you guys next time. Bye.